The young and the restless.
This is CBS.
Good afternoon, everyone. In our headlines this noon, 6,000 Twin Cities registered nurses are doing different rounds this noon on the picket line. The strike started at 6:30 this morning, just as nurses promised it would. Talks yesterday proved unsuccessful, and no new talks are scheduled. Most hospitals in our area are operating at reduced levels. We will have a complete report on the strike and where to go for medical care coming up on the Noon Report.
It's out of this world. Levitt's lowest prices of the year. Imagine $222 recliners just in time for Father's Day. The Berkline rocker recliners rock, recline, and come in navy, rust, chestnut, camel, and chocolate nylon velvet. The Wall Snuggler by Stratalounger reclines, yet stays within inches of the wall, and comes in rust, beige, or brown nylon velvet. 2 smart styles, 8 rich colors, only $222. Now at Levitt's lowest prices of the year.
There's a choice in the land. Now there's hard ice cream at Dairy Queen. Choose luscious strawberry, rich chocolate, and more. Your favorite flavors in an ice cream as good as any you ever tasted. Now there's Queen's Choice ice cream in the land. The choice is yours at your Dairy Queen store.
In the land of Dairy Queen, we treat you right.
Crazy, a washboard?
I've tried everything else to get this shirt clean.
Tried Calgon water softener? The softer the water, the cleaner the clothes.
Calgon?
Calgon softens hard water that steals detergent's cleaning power. See for yourself. Calgon helps get laundry noticeably cleaner in just one wash.
Wow, so Calgon's the secret.
Looks like you've learned. The softer the water, the cleaner the clothes.
Calgon.
From WCCO Television, Minneapolis, St. Paul, this is the Noon Report. With Bill Carlson, Debbie Ely, Bud Kraehling, and Tony Parker.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's the largest strike ever by registered nurses in the entire United States, and the effects will be felt by patients, doctors, and by other hospital personnel.
Bill, hospitals say about 8,000 workers other than nurses will be laid off during the strike because of reduced patient loads. The hospitals that are affected by the strike are as follows. In Minneapolis, Abbott Northwestern, Idle, Fairview, Fairview Deaconess, Metropolitan Medical Center, Children's Medical Center, Mount Sinai, St. Mary's, and St. Mary's Rehabilitation Center. And in St. Paul, St. Joseph's, St. John's, and Bethesda. And in suburban hospitals affected are Methodist in St. Louis Park, Fairview Southdale in Edina, and North Memorial in Robbinsdale. Well, Debbie Ely was at many of those hospitals early this morning when the strike began, and she joins us now for an update. Debbie?
Good afternoon, Tony. I'm at Methodist Hospital in St. Louis Park, where for about the last half hour, our news crew and the picketers have been braving some showers out here. The pickets went up about 6:30 this morning. That's about a half hour to an hour before the last shift of union registered nurses got off their jobs. As some got off, they joined their friends on the picket line. Pickets have been fairly peaceful here. There have been no incidents of name-calling, no attempts to block the road. As one person we talked with said this morning, these people are professionals, and they plan to handle themselves in a professional manner. Business is going on as usual in the hospitals. We talked to about a half dozen hospitals. They say that they have adequate staff. Some plan to hire temporary help. Others say they have no plans to hire temporary people right away. Hospitals tell us that there have been no incidents involving the delivery of medical care. A couple of unusual things that we did hear about this morning. At one hospital, doctors have volunteered their time not to work as nurses, but rather to assist the nurses. They're doing this on a 24-hour basis. And at another hospital in St. Paul, we've heard that the hospital is using ambulances and medical cabs to pick up patients who need to be admitted and then to deliver patients to their homes after they have been released from the hospital. Joining me now on the picket line is Lionel Castigniri. She is a striking registered nurse here. What is the mood on the picket line?
Very enthusiastic, positive, and unified, and wet.
Is the seniority issue, which seems to be the big issue in the strike, an important issue to go out on strike on, in your opinion?
It's very important. a very important issue. I think it's the major issue that most of the people are out here for right now.
Right now, as we're standing here, we're hearing some cars go by, honking at you. It would seem you're getting a lot of support.
A lot of public support, and we're really happy about that. It really makes us feel good. But we're really out here, you know, for our own cause, and that's the most important thing, is that the nurses are very supportive and unified.
How about support from other unions? What are you getting?
We're getting full support from many of them, and as much support as others can give us legally.
What do you mean legally?
Some of them are delivering essential supplies like oxygen and drugs to the hospital, and those we would not disrupt, and we're not asking them. But many of the unions are giving us financial support and, you know, verbal and other types of support.
I guess it's important to note, too, that the licensed practical nurses are in there working, right?
Right. They belong to a different union, and according to their contract, they do have to go to work or they can be fired. But they are also giving us much verbal and positive support also for our cause.
There's some talk that it could be a week to 10 days before mediation would resume, so conceivably you could be out here 2 weeks before there's any kind of settlement. How are you financially braced to be able to withstand a strike?
I think different people are financially better able to withstand than others, but we do have a lot of other support services available for people, so the financial reasons are not reasons for people to not be out picketing.
Well, we'll hope the weather will cooperate with you a little bit more.
I hope so, too.
That's it for us here. We now go back to Bill.
Okay, Debbie, thank you. But you mentioned earlier that the hospital seems to be somewhat organized with the situation today. But what seems to be the mood inside? Is there a sense of urgency about the patient care role today?
I think so. I think a lot of people are on edge today. We detected that when we were in there today. A lot of people have got friends out here on the picket line, so it's very difficult for them to go into the hospitals and work and leave their friends out here. The hospitals have all indicated that they are adequately staffed at this point. Some of them, as a matter of fact, told us that they've got extra beds, which is something that we weren't hearing a couple of days ago. So we'll have more in the story as far as the hospitals are concerned tonight.
Okay, thank you very much, Debbie. Bill?
There's several hospitals in our area that are not directly affected by the strike. One of those is St. Paul Ramsey Medical Center. Mike Walcher joins us now from St. Paul Ramsey for an update. Mike?
That's right, Bill. Nurses here are not on strike. They are members of civil service. They are not in the union that is on strike. But this hospital has been affected, very much so. The emergency room today was somewhat more busy than would be normal, but not extremely busy. This hospital is gearing up to take some patients who won't be going to St. Joe's, St. John's, or Bethesda in St. Paul. Those three are the St. Paul hospitals where nurses are on strike. The emergency room has set up an admitting officer, a doctor, who this morning was Dr. Wayne Haas, and his job is to screen patients who are coming in to determine who has to be admitted and who possibly can be treated and then sent on home. That admitting officer will be staffing the emergency room 24 hours a day and will be making those decisions about who is admitted here and who is not. The patient count this morning at St. Paul Ramsey Medical Center was 274 out of something more than 400 beds. That is actually down about 10 patients from yesterday. They had 284 yesterday and again 274 this morning. With me now is Dr. James Cicero from St. Paul Ramsey Medical Center. And Dr. Cicero, from your standpoint, how are things going today?
Well, it's pretty much business as usual with some moderate increase in the emergency department. We admitted 5 or 6 patients that probably would have gone to other hospitals, but it has not been that great of a thing yet.
Do you intend to hire more staff and nurses?
We are adding some staff back. People that have worked before that were laid off are being called back. Particularly in the emergency department, we're adding some extra nurses during what we project our busy periods.
Are you discouraging elective surgery?
Not yet. We really, at this time, feel we can operate as usual unless we see a great change.
What would happen if there were a big disaster, let's say a chemical leak or, Lord forbid, a big fire with lots of injuries?
Well, we would pick it up as we do normally. We have our staff here, and we would call in what other services are available. I don't see that as a problem.
Do you think this will be a long strike?
I'm not in a position to predict, but everything I've heard is we're going to be here for a while.
Like perhaps more than a month even?
I would guess so.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. James Cicero of St. Paul Ramsey Medical Center. And again, the situation here, gentlemen, is pretty much business as usual, but they do expect to be pretty busy during this nurses' strike.
Okay, and all those suggestions, of course, are the things that people should keep in mind. Shouldn't get too nervous during this whole thing because most bases are covered rather adequately, right, Mike?
I can't hear you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mike. And, of course, we will have complete update reports on the nurses' strike throughout all of our newscasts through the remainder of the day and indeed throughout the strike.
Well, Bill, we do have some advice for people needing medical care. The Medical Society says First, you should call your physician. If you don't have one and live in Hennepin County, call 623-9555. In Ramsey County, call 291-1209 if your condition requires immediate attention to a hospital emergency room, or call the emergency number of 911. Milwaukee police are again busy investigating reports of more pipe bombs today. Detectives say a bomb has been found downtown, but nobody was injured. Yesterday, 2 pipe bombs were found in downtown Milwaukee. One of them exploded when a woman collecting trash reached for a dollar bill that was attached to the bomb. The other bomb was found in a nearby alley near a utility pole. Police got to that one in time. The woman is okay, and police are looking for a man who was wearing a purple t-shirt, a brown waist-length coat, and blue pants. The man was in the park moments before the bomb went off. Notes found with the bombs are similar to the notes found with bombs last weekend in western Wisconsin and Minnesota. And Chicago police dismantled a similar pipe bomb found in stairwell above the 53rd floor of the Standard Oil building this morning. A janitor found the bomb and called police. A note signed by a gay strike force was found with the bomb. That was the second bomb found in downtown Chicago in 24 hours. Yesterday, another bomb was found in a parking lot and disarmed by police. That bomb was positioned so it would be detonated by the weight of a car rolling over it.
Dodge County residents are calling for the resignation of Sheriff Ernie Vanderhyde. They're blaming the sheriff for the brawl in Claremont 2 weeks ago. About 200 residents gathered at the town high school last night for a meeting on the problems in the town. People living in the area say the incident would not have happened if the sheriff had done a better job of responding to citizens' complaints. But Sheriff Vanderhyde defends his department's actions. 17 people have already been charged in connection with that brawl. More charges are expected. The search for 6 convicted killers from Virginia has now shifted to a rural area near Warrenton in northeast North Carolina. A posse is using bloodhounds to hunt down the men who escaped from a maximum security prison in Virginia last night. The men were armed with homemade knives. They seized a dozen guards, stole a van, and drove to North Carolina. The guards have been released. All 6 inmates were on death row. Tony?
The President and Mrs. Reagan left this morning for their 10-day European trip. The first stop on the trip is Ireland. The President will visit the small town in which his ancestors lived. The Irish hosts say they will welcome the President, even though a poll released yesterday by Irish marketing groups say a majority of those polled want somebody else in the White House. Secretary of State Schultz is in El Salvador today as Jose Napoleon Duarte is sworn in as president. Duarte will also swear in a newly organized cabinet in the country. The Defense Ministry has been divided into 2 branches, one to be in charge of security forces. The opposition is threatening to boycott the ceremonies today. Tonight, George Schultz flies to Washington, on to Ireland, where he will join President Reagan. And there are new reports out in Nicaragua today on the handling of the bombing yesterday in which an American journalist was killed and rebel leader Eden Pastora was wounded. The American photographer says Linda Frazier was left for more than 5 hours before she was given medical attention.
As Pastora sped off with the best equipment, the fastest equipment. If he had taken her, she would have lived, because she did live in agony for 5 hours after she was injured.
Pastora was given immediate care, and he will be flown to Venezuela today for more treatment. And the water just keeps on rising today in the Northeast. Today, the Connecticut River is expected to crest 15 feet above flood stage. That story and more coming up on the Noon Report.
I just discovered something great. A new maxi pad that works in such a different way. It's called Always. Let me tell you why Always is so different. Every pad is covered with a special material they call dry weave. It's this material that helps give me a drier kind of protection. I actually feel drier with Always, and I like that. But read the package. You'll see exactly why Always is so terrific. It'll tell you how Always helps keep you dry in a way you've never known.
New Always, a drier kind of protection that simply didn't exist until now. In maxis, minis, and panty liners.
Between you and me, I'm surprised someone didn't think of it sooner.
Freedom, the greatest gift your country gives. Help preserve it by taking stock in America. Buy United States Savings Bonds.
Italy, America thanks you for works of art by Michelangelo, automobiles by Maserati, fashions by Luciano Ciprani, and pasta by D'Amelia. delicious pasta, made in Italy. D'Amelia, Pasta d'Italia. Another famous product from Italy. Grazie d'Amelia.
At the Minnesota Zoo, the whales sing. Strange creatures play in the dark. Birds smooch. Fish walk. Cockroaches hiss. And the lions live underwater. But if you think that's strange, you should see the people. The Minnesota Zoo, where fact is more entertaining than fiction.
After 3 weeks of bitter fights on Capitol Hill, the House finally approved a $284 billion defense bill that cuts President Reagan's original defense budget and curbs the MX missile and other weapons. The package was passed on a 298-98 vote. It bans production of nuclear-tipped sea-launched cruise missiles unless the Soviets produce a similar system. It took away President Reagan's option to approve production of 15 MX missiles after April if he feels the Soviets aren't bargaining in good faith on arms control. And the House cut the defense budget by $21 billion, bringing it to the $284 billion figure. New unemployment figures released today provided some good news for hundreds of thousands of young people entering the labor force looking for summer jobs. The jobless rate fell to 7.5% in May, the lowest rate since August of 1981. That's down 0.3% from April. The declines in joblessness touched every population group, but the strongest declines were among adult men and women and among blacks. The figures show the economy continues to grow. And the Twin Cities metro area unemployment rate in April was 4.7% down from 5%, or 4.7% down from 5% in March. At noon, the Dow Jones stock averages generally up. Industrials up 11.42. Transportation issues up 7.61, and utilities up about 0.75 points. Tony?
Well, the rain is still falling in parts of the Northeast today, and the ground and rivers are already so saturated there's literally no place for the water to go. The National Weather Service is warning us of more flooding today in parts of Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Maine. The storm system is being blamed for 18 deaths nationwide. What's forecast next? Up on the Noon Report.
Ever to come down. Meanwhile, now the batter is standing there, waiting, watching for it to come.
Get ready to paint and save during spring super paint savings at True Value hardware stores. Give your home new beauty and protection with True Test Weatherall acrylic latex. It'll last through all kinds of weather without fading or peeling. And Weatherall comes in 3 durable finishes. Original flat finish, reduced to $10.98 a gallon. Satin finish for $11.98. And gloss finish, just $12.98 a gallon. Save now during spring super paint savings at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
Wix Furniture announces a sale on all our chairs and recliners, so you better sit up and take notice. Choose from our huge array of comfortable special purchase chairs and recliners. Regularly $299 to $399, now they're just $199.88. Then you'll be sitting pretty because you'll have saved $100 to $200. All chairs and recliners on sale now through Monday night. Nice. Wix, surprisingly Wix, where you'll get more than you pay for.
In a world of compromise, Cadillac is uncompromising in its commitment to full-size luxury. While Buick and Olds have dropped their full-size cars, Cadillac continues to set the standard you expect in a true luxury car. The Cadillac DeVille and Fleetwood Brougham, now at your Twin Cities Cadillac dealer. In full-size luxury and comfort, Cadillac stands alone.
20 years ago, one of America's most popular cars rolled off the assembly line. Friday on PM Magazine, take a nostalgic look at the enduring Mustang. Then, meet the country's most successful promoter of rock and roll, Bill Graham. Get a taste of down-home country humor from Mississippi's favorite comic. And Peggy the cab driver takes you to the Minnesota Summer Star Festival on PM Magazine, Friday at 6:30 on Channel 4.
There's a very good chance that showers and thunderstorms will continue through the afternoon and tonight to kind of make up for a rather dry May. May 84 turned out to be an inch of precipitation below the average, and even the weeds started to wilt a little bit in my backyard.
You have to justify that rain a little bit, huh? Well,
Yeah.
the weather's still nice, so the rain won't
We
hurt
got
things.
to have a little rain.
A little rain.
All right. Thunderstorms in the area now. Temperature at 77 degrees. Humidity at 67%. The wind is from the southeast at 14 miles an hour. Barometric pressure at 29.71, and the pressure is falling. Once again, we have a thunderstorm and 77 degrees in the Twin Cities. There is a cold front, and showers and thunderstorms are right along and just ahead of the cold front from Hibbing down to Fairmount. There's not too much of a cool-off behind the cold front. Still 70 at Fargo, but back through North Dakota, it's 58 or 59 degrees at Minot, and back through Rapid City, the temperature is only 48. So a thunderstorm and 77 here in the metro area. There are some light showers scattered through central and southern Minnesota, well, north of Alexandria, St. Cloud, curving down through Mankato and down to the Owatonna area. Some heavier thunderstorms from the Forest Lake area right into the heart of the Twin Cities. Precipitation moving northeast at 35 miles an hour, and we've had reports of small hail at Jordan and heavy rains at Chanhassen. There are some showers and thunderstorms behind that system, too, in eastern North Dakota. Some heavy rain in north central South Dakota and northern Minnesota from Park Rapids to the Cass Lake area. Again, precipitation moving all to the northeast. And we've the warmest air mass of the season. Temperatures this morning were in the 50s and 60s from Texas, Louisiana, all up through the five-state area. The minimum temperature this morning in the Twin Cities was 64 degrees, and 24 cities either set or tied minimum temperature records this morning from Philadelphia down through Texas and Florida. And some of those cities are the coldest ever in June. For example, in Jacksonville, Florida, the early morning temperature was only 47. We had 64 here in the metro area. Here's our forecast for the day. The storm center, cold front moving on to the east. Ahead of the front, temperatures in the 80s from Dallas and Miami and through Chicago, over 100 back through the Phoenix area, and temperatures in the 60s in the Pacific Northwest. Here's the forecast for the Twin Cities of mostly cloudy showers and thunderstorms this afternoon and this evening. Afternoon temperature at 82, 57 tonight. We'll have southerly winds and then the cold front going by, northwesterly winds. So the forecast for Saturday, chance of morning showers and then decreasing cloudiness, clearing in the afternoon with the temperature at 76 degrees for Saturday.
Overall, a very good forecast.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bud. Bill?
You know, Tony and Bud, Hollywood had nothing on the Twin Cities in terms of running a gala movie premiere last night, and it was for a Minnesota-made movie called Wild Rose.
The premiere was in the form of a benefit for New Front Programming Services, a non-profit film distributor. Many of the stars of the picture were there, as was the production staff, several backers, and the Lieutenant Governor. The movie is played at film festivals around the world to good reviews, but this was the first major city premiere. Producer Sandra Schulberg noted the event's significance.
It's also an important night for us because Minneapolis is the home of so many of the film's financial and moral supporters and cast and crew. Many of you who are out here tonight seeing the film for the first time.
Director John Hansen spoke of his purposes.
I think you feel the strength of the people, first of all. You feel sympathy and for the characters, you know, June and Rick struggling within the context of layoffs and a love of the land. And what I hope you feel, too, is that you're right in those minds.
The name of the movie, once again, is Wild Rose. Still to come in the noon report. The Boston Celtics worked a little overtime last night, and it paid off with a win. Tom Hanneman is up next with the highlights.
Switch on to savings during the Montgomery Ward Home Electronics Sale. Save $100 on this Atom computer system, complete with keyboard, memory module, and letter quality printer. Save $70 on this GE video cassette recorder with remote forward and reverse scan, pause, plus single frame advance. And save $100 on this 19-inch Montgomery Ward color portable TV. The Montgomery Ward Home Electronics Sale. Don't miss it.
Well, a hoop-dee-doo is a brand new scoop. Oreo cookies and cream. You can't get enough of this heavenly stuff. New Oreo cookies and cream. We crunch those cookies in a cream ice cream. Is everybody drooling? Yes, indeed. US of A, it's your lucky day. New Oreo cookies and cream.
On a stick and sandwiches, too.
You know, this kills me. This new eyeworks place says that you can get a complete eye exam and new glasses in only a few hours. What's the big hurry? They say they have over 4,000 different frames. How many does a person need? And this really kills me. They say they got a computer that figures out which frames look best on your face. What's so hard about that? I picked these.
Come to the eyeworks. Now there's a better way to take care of your eyes.
Wix Furniture announces a sale on all our chairs and recliners, so you better sit up and take notice. Choose from our huge array of comfortable special purchase chairs and recliners. Regularly $299 to $399, now they're just $199.88. Then you'll be sitting pretty because you'll have saved $100 to $200. All chairs and recliners on sale now through Monday night. Nice. Wix, surprisingly Wix, where you'll get more than you pay for.
Game 2 of the NBA Championship Series last night was exactly the kind of contest most people expected from Boston and Los Angeles. The Celtics won it on their home court 124-121 in overtime to knot their championship series with the Lakers at a game apiece. Well, when it comes to final time in the NBA, athletes play with reckless abandon. Just ask that fan. Magic Johnson was up to his old tricks last night. As they say, the hand is quicker than the eye, although James Worthy saw the pass and drove it home. In the final seconds of regulation, Gerald Henderson stunned the Lakers with his steal and layup to tie the game at 113. The Lakers failed to get off the last shot, and in overtime, Scott Wedman's jumper won it for the home team, 124-121. Road team has never won the first 2 games of the championship series in the 37 years of the NBA Championship Series. Game 3 in L.A. is Sunday and will be televised here on Channel 4. The Twins crowned the Royals 7-2 last night at the Metrodome, and in the process, pulled within a game of the division-leading Angels. Twins pounded out a dozen hits last night, but only one of them, this Mickey Hatcher ground rule double, went for extra bases. Hatcher's double scored the Twins' 7th and final run. Mickey filled in for Kent Herbeck at first last night. Herbie had a migraine. Rookie left fielder Dave Meyer gave at least one Royal a headache on this play. The defensive gem of the night. Meyer snares the ball at full throttle. Take a look again. A great effort. Same can be said of Eddie Hodges' performance. The Twins rookie tossed a solid 7 2/3 innings to record the win, his 2nd of the year. Ron Davis sealed that victory by fanning 3 of the final 4 hitters of the night to pick up his 9th save. Twins and Royals go at it again tonight in the Metrodome. No other games in the American League last night, but in the National League a few. And Philadelphia knocked off Chicago 10-2. That drops the Cubs out of first place in the NL East. St. Louis 5-2 over New York. Atlanta 7-1 over Cincinnati, while Pittsburgh edged Montreal 2-1. Cincinnati Reds outfielder Cesar Cedeno said his teammate pitcher Mario Soto should try to control his temper. Soto should have taken Cedeno's advice. His outburst against the Cubs last Sunday is going to cost him a 5-day suspension. Soto had complained too vigorously about a disputed home run call. No argument coming up here as Creighton Suicide Squeeze worked to perfection in their 6-0 rout of Johnson. Creighton will play Park in the 2nd round of the Region 3 AA tournament now. And finally, Olympic hockey coach Lou Vero will try to share his international experience in the pros. The New Jersey Devils have hired Vero as an assistant coach. Doug Carpenter was named the Devils' head coach. Neither has any pro experience. And the French Open tennis championships are finally underway in Paris following a 3-hour rain delay. So it's raining in Paris as well today.
Quick question, Tom. Your pick, L.A. or Boston?
Boston in 7, Tony.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet.
Finally, we have today, many journalists are often embarrassed each year while the National Spelling Bee is going on. And since youngsters are able to spell better than most of us, this year's winner is Daniel Greenblatt of Virginia.
L-U-G-E.
I don't believe it either. I wouldn't have been able to spell it. Well, that'll do it for this edition of the Noon Report. Thank you for joining us. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Soybean farmers are turning to the Basagran system. Basagran alone controls the most important broadleaf weeds, gently and dependably. And Basagran tank mixes control most others. But that's not all.
The Basagran system? To me, it means better value for my money.
Turn to the Basagran system for better performance and better economics. From BASF Wyandotte.
Once upon a time, fabric softeners cost a lot, but now there's new Snuggle fabric softener.
Hi, I'm Snuggle. Snuggly softness. That's really less expensive. Look, I get towels fluffy, blankets cuddly, clothes don't cling, smell fresh too. Get your wash snuggly soft ever after.
Try new Snuggle fabric softener. Snuggly softness that's really less expensive.
It's out of this world. Levitt's lowest prices of the year. Imagine $222 recliners just in time for Father's Day. The Berkline Rocker recliners rock, recline, and come in navy, rust, chestnut, camel, and chocolate nylon velvet. The Wall Snuggler by Stratalounger reclines, yet stays within inches of the wall, and comes in rust, beige, or brown nylon velvet. 2 smart styles, 8 rich colors, only $222. Now at Levitt's lowest prices of the year.
WCCO Television, Minneapolis, St. Paul.